Letter 14 of the Backwoods of Canada, by Catharine Parr Traill. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Backwoods of Canada, by Catharine Parr Traill. Letter 14. Utility of Botanical Knowledge. July 13th, 1834. Our winter broke up unusually early this year. By the end of February the ground was quite free from snow, and the weather continued all through March mild and pleasant, though not so warm as the preceding year, and certainly more variable. By the last week in April and the beginning of May the forest trees had all burst into leaf, with a brilliancy of green that was exquisitely lovely. On the 14th, 15th, and 16th of May the air became suddenly cold, with sharp winds from the northwest, and heavy storms of snow that nipped the young buds, and destroyed many of the early sown vegetable seeds. Fortunately for us we were behind with ours, which was very well, as it happened. Our woods and clearings are now full of beautiful flowers. You will be able to form some idea of them from the dried specimens that I send you. You will recognize among them many of the cherished pets of our gardens and greenhouses, which are here flung carelessly from nature's lavish hand among our woods and wilds. How often do I wish you were beside me in my rambles among the woods and clearings! You would be so delighted in searching out the floral treasures of the place. Deeply do I now regret having so idly neglected your kind offers, while at home, of instructing me in flower painting. You often told me the time would come when I should have cause to regret neglecting the golden opportunity before me. You proved a true prophetess, for I daily lament that I cannot make faithful representations of the flowers of my adopted country, or understand as you would their botanical arrangement. With some few I have made myself acquainted, but have hardly confidence in my scanty stock of knowledge to venture on scientific descriptions, when I feel conscious that a blunder would be easily detected, and expose me to ridicule and contempt, for an assumption of knowledge that I did not possess. The only botanical work I have at my command is Pursh's North American Flora, from which I have obtained some information, but must confess it is tiresome blundering out Latin descriptions to one who knows nothing of Latin beyond what she derives through a knowledge of Italian. I have made out a list of the plants most worthy of attention near us. There are many others in the township that I am a stranger to; some there are with whose names I am unacquainted. I subjoin a slight sketch, not with my pencil but my pen, of those flowers that pleased me particularly, or that possessed any remarkable qualities. The same plants do not grow on cleared land that formerly occupied the same spot when it was covered with forest trees. A distinct class of vegetation makes its appearance as soon as the fire has passed over the ground. The same thing may be remarked with regard to the change that takes place among our forests. As one generation falls and decays, new ones of a different character spring up in their places. This is illustrated in the circumstance of the resinous substance called fat pine being usually found in places where the living pine is least abundant, and where the ground is occupied by oak, ash, buck, maple, and basswood. The fireweed, a species of tall thistle of rank and unpleasant scent, is the first plant that appears when the ground has been freed from timbers by fire. If a piece of land lies untilled the first summer after its being chopped, the following spring shows you a smothering crop of this vile weed. The next plant you notice is the sumac, with its downy stalks and head of deep crimson velvety flowers, forming an upright obtuse bunch at the extremity of the branches. The leaves turn scarlet towards the latter end of the summer. This shrub, though really very ornamental, is regarded as a great pest in old clearings, where the roots run and send up suckers in abundance. The raspberry and wild gooseberry are next seen, and thousands of strawberry plants of different varieties carpet the ground and mingle with the grasses of the pastures. I have been obliged this spring to root out with remorseless hand hundreds of sarsaparilla plants, and also the celebrated gingseng, which grows abundantly in our woods. It used formerly to be an article of export to China from the States, the root being held in high estimation by the Chinese. Last week I noticed a succulent plant that made its appearance on a dry sandy path in my garden. It seemed to me a variety of the hour blowing mesembryanthium. It has increased so rapidly that it already covers a large space, the branches converging from the centre of the plant, and sending forth shoots from every joint. The leaves are rather small, three-sided and pointed, thick and juicy, yielding a green liquor when bruised like the common sedums. The stalks are thick and round, of a bright red, and trail along the ground. The leaves spring from each joint, and with them a constant succession of yellow starry flowers, that close in an hour or so from the time they first unfold. I shall send you some of the seed of this plant, as I perceive a number of little green pods that look like buds, but which on opening prove to be the seed vessels. This plant covers the earth like a thick mat, and I am told is rather troublesome where it likes the soil. I regret that among my dried plants I could not preserve some specimens of our superb water lilies and irises, but they were too large and too juicy to dry well. As I cannot send you my favourites, I must describe them to you. The first, then, is a magnificent water lily, that I have called by way of distinction the Queen of the Lakes, for she sits a crown upon the waters. This magnificent flower is about the size of a moderately large dahlia. It is double to the heart, every row of petals diminishing by degrees in size, and gradually deepening in tint from the purest white to the brightest lemon colour. The buds are very lovely, and may be seen below the surface of the water, in different stages of forwardness, from the closely folded bud, wrapped in its olive green calyx, to the half blown flower, ready to emerge from its watery prison, and in all its virgin beauty expand its snowy blossom to the sun and genial air. Nor is the beauty of the flower its sole attraction. When unfolded it gives out a rich perfume not unlike the smell of fresh lemons. The leaves are also worthy of attention. At first they are of a fine dark green, but as the flower decays the leaf changes its hue to a vivid crimson. Where a large bed of these lilies grow closely together, they give quite a sanguine appearance to the waters, that is distinguishable at some distance. The yellow species of this plant is also very handsome, though it wants the silken texture and delicate colour of the former. I call this the water king. The flower presents a golden coloured cup, the concave petals of which are clouded in the centre with a dark reddish brown, that forms a striking contrast to the gay anthers, which are very numerous, and turn back from the centre of the flower, falling like fringes of gold one over the other, in successive rows, till they fill up the hollow flower cup. The shallows of our lake abound with a variety of elegant aquatic plants. I know not a more lovely sight than one of these floating gardens. Here you shall behold near the shore a bed of azure fleur de lis, from the palest pearl colour varying to the darkest purple. Nearer in shore, in the shallowest water, the rose coloured persicaria sends up its beautiful spikes trailing below the surface. You see red stalks, and smooth dark green leaves, veined underneath with rosy red. It is a very charming variety of this beautiful species of plants. Then a bed of my favourite white lilies, all in full bloom, floating on the water, with their double flowers expanding to the sun. Near these, and rising in stately pride, a tall plant with dark green spear shaped leaves, and thick spike of bright blue flowers is seen. I cannot discover the name of this very grand looking flower, and I neglect to examine its botanical construction, so I can give you no clue by which to discover its name or species. Our rice beds are far from being unworthy of admiration. Seen from a distance they look like low green islands on the lakes. On passing through one of these rice beds when the rice is in flower, it has a beautiful appearance with its broad grassy leaves and light waving spikes, garnished with pale yellow green blossoms, delicately shaded with reddish purple, from beneath which fall three elegant straw coloured anthers, which move with every breath of air or slightest